me after I finish my stuff? Do you want me to just simply put my folder right there and then you can have your stuff there? That work, and then we'll just alternate back and forth.
It's as high as it'll go. There's nothing to do about the echo. It happens every day, every event we have.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I feel like I talk fairly loud anyway, so I'm just not going to like scream into the mic. So.
Are students that are reading their essays, are they going last?
Yes, yes, they are.
So just flip it inside.
Yep, okay. We're going to go ahead and get started so that we are not here for half the evening. Thank you all so much for being patient with supper tonight. We have, tried to follow the protocol for LISD for social distancing, and we thank Longview High School for letting us use the Coliseum tonight. I think it worked out great, so thank you to Mr. Brewer for letting us have the event here tonight. I'd like to welcome everyone tonight to Lamplighters. Tonight we celebrate the power of great educators, members of the most influential profession in the world. Without the education profession, there would be no other professions. For all of us learned our trade and skill from our teachers. The Longview ISD Foundation believes that students long remember the teachers with whom they had strong relationships, who truly cared about them, and who helped them become the successful students and young people they are. Thank you for joining the Longview ISD Foundation tonight as we honor students from each LISD campus and their special educator at the 21st Annual Lamplighter Awards. Tonight we also celebrate the Foundation's 26th year of service to the students and educators of LISD. The Longview ISD Foundation sponsors 3 grant programs that enhance educational opportunities for LISD students. The Great Rewards for Great Ideas grant program, the Campus Initiative grant program, and the John W. Harrison Jr. Field Trip grant. The Foundation thanks board members Renese Henderson, Carmen Holt, and Karen Reed for chairing the grants program committees and the many Foundation board members who read and evaluated this year's grant applications. The Foundation members spent many volunteer hours on this annual project, reading and evaluating these grants to determine which grants best deserved the Foundation support. If you're an LISD employee that has ever received grant money, will you please stand? Anybody here in the past that's earned some grant money? All right. Since 1996, the Foundation has funded 728 grants through the Great Rewards for Great Ideas, returning $795,468 to Longview ISD teachers, counselors, librarians, and nurses so they can provide the very best education possible for their students. These grants have funded programs and projects for students of all ability levels and in all disciplines. In addition to strengthening academics, the grants have also funded projects in music, art, technology, character education, health and physical education, guidance and counseling, STEM and STEAM education projects. Since 2008, the Longview ISD Foundation has funded 47 campus grants for a total of $138,872 to enhance programs that align with campus and district improvement plans to increase student achievement. In 2018, the Foundation began the John W. Harrison Jr. Academic Field Trip Grant for 4th and 5th grade students and for middle school students. With this funding, Hudson Pep and South Ward students visited the Perot Museum, And Nettie Williams STEAM Academy students went to NASA. This coming May, Foster Middle School 8th graders will visit Austin to tour the Capitol, the Bob Bullock Texas History Museum, and the LBJ Library. Through these 3 programs, the Longview ISD Foundation has funded $960,000 to LISD educators to enhance the quality of education for all students. The foundation also offers a continuing education scholarship to Longview ISD educators to enable them to obtain additional degrees and certifications that will enhance their classroom instruction. In 2015, the Lobo Memorial Scholarship Fund merged with the foundation to offer scholarships to Longview High School seniors. By seeking donations from Longview High School alumni and friends of LISD, the foundation will award 8 $1,000 scholarships to the class of 2021 on May the 2nd. To date, the Lobo Memorial Scholarship has awarded $171,000 to LHS seniors. Because of the generosity of tonight's sponsors, the foundation will be able to fund even more classroom, campus, and field trip grants and educator scholarships in the future. Thank you, sponsors, for all of your support.
The members of the Longview ISD Foundation give their time and talent in support of Longview ISD students and educators. These volunteers sell green out t-shirts, secure sponsorship for tonight's event. They read and evaluate grants. They read essays for tonight's event, the Lamplighter event, and choose the winners. And I have to say that committee does a lot of crying. They shed so many tears over those. Those essays are all so sweet, so I try not to be on that committee. We select scholarship recipients, attend many meetings to make sure this foundation runs to benefit Longview ISD. Without these dedicated volunteers, the schools would be unable to receive the additional support that the foundation's programs provide, and the programs the foundation knows will inspire students to achieve to be their very best. If you are on the foundation board, would you please stand so we can recognize you? Thank you, members. We also have a few of our the LISD school board members here in attendance. I believe I saw our board president, Shan Bauer, is with us this evening. If we can recognize you. Thank you, Shan. And we also have board member Virginia Northcutt. I believe I saw. Hi. Did I miss anybody? Do we have any others in attendance? Thank you all very much for being here this evening. We appreciate it. And while we're recognizing people, there's of course one more person we would like to recognize. This is Kay Ray. I could talk about Kay all day long, but to summarize, she has more energy than a kindergarten class after a fire drill, and she works harder than the Lobo football team during 2 days. She is passionate about education in our school district, and she is one of the most determined women I know. And like I always say, you don't tell Kay Ray no. That's why I'm standing here. As a former English teacher, she has a broad vocabulary, and no and can't are not included. And that's exactly the kind of person you want at the helm of your organization. We are so blessed to have her as an educator, advocate, and fundraiser for our school district. She's a tireless person in our mission to advance opportunities for our kids. All that we have done as this foundation would not be possible at all without her. So thank you, Kay Ray, for being on our team and for all you do for our kids and teachers.
The foundation began in 1995 with the support of a group of donors who supported the vision of an education foundation to support Longview ISD with one program only to award classroom grants to teachers. Since then, the foundation has expanded its programs to include more ways to support LISD educators and students. Because many students don't have the personal opportunities to visit art, science, or history museums and historic sites to enhance their classroom learning, the foundation has added the John W. Harrison Jr. Academic Field Trip Grant, named in honor of the late Mr. Harrison, who served on the LISD Board of Trustees for over 40 years. This grant program will allow 4th and 5th grade students and middle school students to expand their classroom learning with hands-on experiences. On your table, you will see a brown bag that's been decorated by the Hudson Pet Gifted and Talented students. If each person at your table were to place $5 in the bag tonight, the foundation will have more funding for its academic field trip grant. Please donate tonight so that teachers can begin dreaming of local and state places they can take their students to expand their horizons and enrich their learning experiences. Each year, in conjunction with the Lamplighter Awards, the foundation holds a raffle. This raffle was very successful this year, and we, because we feel like totally lost my place. Because the foundation is so impressed with the heartfelt sincerity of the students' essays, and because we think those essays carry a powerful message, we will draw for the raffle now rather than waiting till the end of the night. Henry and Moore Jewelry, Longview Restaurants, Longview ISD, Foundation board members, and Judson Outdoor ATV have donated items for the annual raffle held in conjunction with tonight's banquet. If you donated an item for tonight's raffle, will you please stand so we can recognize you? I know a bunch of board members donated. This year's raffle items are a sparkling 14-karat white gold and diamond and sapphire necklace, 0.17 carat diamond total weight and 0.5 carat total weight of sapphires. Retail value $1,200, donated by Henry and Moore Jewelry. We've got Dine for a Month gift card basket, $25 gift cards to Longview's favorite eateries. We've got Andy's, Barron's Cafe, Bodacious Barbecue, Case's Kitchen, Jack's Natural Food, $200 to Juicy's, Judd's, McAllister's Deli, Minchie's, Scotty's, Scotty's 2.0, Sonic, Starbucks, Tomboni's, and many more. Also, with that gift card basket, the Lobo Bistro provides lunch for 10 by the LHS Culinary Arts Department, which is valued at $200. So this basket retails for well over $1,000. Then we've got the Camp Chef Smoke Pro DLX 24-inch pellet grill cover and bag of pellets. Retail value $570, donated by Judson Outdoor Power and ATV. Will Christopher Gonzalez from JL Everhart come forward to help us draw the winners for tonight's raffle prizes? Okay, we're going to start with the necklace first. Christopher, head on over there and pick out a winner. And the winner of the necklace is Kimberly Mendenhall. Kimberly is not here, but we will make sure she gets that necklace. Okay, here comes the gift basket with over $1,000 worth of food gift cards.
Okay. Lucky person.
Helen Gerald. And lastly, the Smoke Pro pellet grill. All right, Tammy Burns. Okay, you want to give those? The foundation appreciates the donors for their generosity and loyal support of the Longview ISD Foundation. As a gift from the foundation, the elementary school Lamplighter honorees should find a clear backpack on their table with the Rockin' L on it that should have their name on it. The middle and high school Lamplighter honorees should find a chrome Rockin' L car emblem with their name on it, as well as every educator Lamplighter honoree should also find a chrome Rockin' L car emblem on their table with their name on it. Each year, the foundation invites Longview High School art students to create artwork for the Lamplighter Awards program. Here's our example of this year. This year, Longview High School junior art student Veronica Sloan, daughter of Deanne and John Sloan, created the design for this year's Lamplighter program. Nika, will you please stand? Veronica has been passionate about art for as long as she can remember. As a child, she was obsessed with mermaids. She estimates she sketched as many as 100 mermaids in sea life drawings during her preschool and early elementary school days. Through the years, Veronica has received numerous awards for art, including Art Student of the Year in middle school. In the fall of 2019, she was one of 3 Longview High School students chosen for a collaborative art project to design an ornament for the Christmas tree at the Capitol Building in Austin, Texas. During the pandemic, Veronica shared her love for art by sending positive notes and drawings to area nursing home residents through a program called Project Happiness. Although it is difficult for her to choose an art form, Veronica loves sketching, painting, and mixed media. Her art has been influenced by traveling with her family, where she has been exposed to many great works of art in galleries and museums. Through the years, Veronica has spent many summers in Santa Fe, where she enjoyed hours perusing art galleries on Canyon Road. When Veronica is not immersed in an art project, you will most likely find her on the soccer field. She enjoys playing soccer as a Lady Lobo and for her club team, FC Dallas. Veronica also loves spending time with her friends, shopping, working out, spending time at her family's farm with her 3 dogs. She's involved in National Honor Society, Z Club, and the Longview Museum of Art Student Board, and she serves as an acolyte at Trinity Episcopal Church. Veronica's cover design for tonight's Lamplighter Awards program was inspired by her love for children and the outdoors. In addition, she has always loved the painting Boy with a Kite by Texas artist Ansel Nunn that hangs in her family's kitchen. The foundation thanks Veronica for sharing her talent with the LISD Foundation. Let's give her a round of applause. For the 2020 Lamplighter Awards, which was canceled due to the pandemic, the foundation asked LISD Art 1 students at Foster Middle School to create kites for tonight's table decorations. The foundation simply put the kites away to use once it could continue the Lamplighter Awards. Not only does the foundation think that kites symbolize students soaring towards success because of dedicated educators like the ones we honor tonight, but for 2021, the kites also symbolize so much more as we once again are able to gather in fellowship in support of LISD students and educators. The kites also symbolize the support of the Longview community that it has shown the foundation so that it can contribute to the student success. Without the community's support, the foundation would not be the success it is today. The Longview ISD Foundation has always enjoyed wonderful media coverage from the Longview News Journal and Jocelyn Fadajudemy in her publications East Texas Review and Infinity Magazine. We appreciate coverage of tonight's event. Kristen Barton, the Longview News Journal, with the Longview News Journal, is here tonight. So Kristen, we look forward to seeing tomorrow's newspaper. The Longview News Journal has provided excellent coverage throughout the years of the Foundation's events. Mrs. Fadajudemy is here, as always, to take pictures of tonight's honorees and guests and feature them in the next issue of Infinity Magazine. For the past several years, the Lamplighter Awards have been featured prominently in the magazine, and they are a keepsake for our honorees. Thank you, Jocelyn, for your support of the foundation.
Each year, the Lamplighter Awards banquet also honors Longview ISD educators who are very special to today's students. To recognize that service and commitment, each year the foundation presents the Cornerstone Award to someone who's contributed to the district and the foundation's success. This year, the foundation honors Emily Arisman Myers, Longview High School graduate, class of 1961, graduate of Texas Christian University, and member of the Longview ISD Foundation, where she serves as the Lobo Memorial Scholarship Fund Chair. Emily's son, Dan Felsenthal, graduate of Longview High School, was a 2015 Lamplighter Award recipient. Her daughter, Catherine Felsenthal Stevens, is also a graduate of Longview High School. Emily is also the proud grandmother of 6 grandchildren. Emily spent 30 years as an educator. 16 of those years were in Longview ISD, where she taught English and Spanish, 6 years in Spring Hill ISD, and 2 in Hallsville ISD. She also served for 4 years as the director of the Enrichment Learning Center at Trinity School of Texas, and 2 years as an English as a second language instructor at Kilgore College. Emily has demonstrated her passion for Longview by participating in Leadership Longview and for volunteering for the Junior League of Longview and the Shakespeare Club. She has served as the secretary of the Texas Shakespeare Festival Foundation Board and as the president of the Texas Shakespeare Festival Guild. She's also served in many other volunteer organizations such as the Longview Symphony, the East Texas Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, the Longview Museum of Fine Arts, the East Texas Literacy Council, and the Gray County Historical Museum. Because of her dedication to volunteerism, she was named a Star Over Longview by the Longview Regional Medical Center in 2011. As a Longview High School graduate, Emily was involved with a group of her classmates who honored their late classmate, Robert Sullivan, with a scholarship funded by the donations from LHS alumni. In 2016, the group supporting the Robert Sullivan Scholarship merged with the Longview ISD Foundation to become the Lobo Memorial Scholarship Fund. Since 2016, the fund within the Longview ISD Foundation has awarded $171 $1,000 in scholarships to deserving Lovo High School seniors to help them attend college, university, or technical school. This ensures that their futures will be very bright. Emily has served as the chair of the Lobo Memorial Scholarship Fund, meeting with committee members to read and evaluate scholarship applications and determine each year's recipients. She also heads the Scholarship Fund's annual fundraising campaign each spring as she solicits donations from Longview High School alumni and community members who remember their days from LHS and want the same successful future for today's graduates that they themselves enjoy. Tonight, the Foundation proudly honors Emily Myers and thanks her for her loyal support of Longview ISD Foundation and her dedication to the scholarship program that helps deserving Lobo seniors with their post-secondary education.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank Kay Ray, Executive Director of the LISD Foundation, the members of the board of the foundation, and the members of the foundation's Lobo Memorial Scholarship Committee for this prestigious award. I'm honored and humbled to be recognized by the LISD Foundation with this Cornerstone Award. But it's you, our patrons and supporters, who are the true honorees. Without you, there would be no Lobo Memorial Scholarships. I would also like to thank the LHS class of 1960, by whom the foundation of our scholarship was founded as a memorial to their classmate, Robert Sullivan. Today, my work is chairing the Foundation's Lobo Memorial Scholarship Committee, which selects the recipients of the scholarships each year. It is also my responsibility to lead the fundraising for these scholarships and to acknowledge the donations that you have made. It is through your support, contributions, and donations that we are able to approximately award 8 $1,000 scholarships annually. The deserving recipients are selected on a basis of grade point average and rank in their class, their ACT and SAT test scores, a personal essay, and a teacher recommendation, in addition to their school activities, community activities, and financial need. The seniors who are chosen for the Foundation's Lobo Memorial Scholarship are those we feel understand the value of furthering their education and who are seeking to reach their lifetime goals. It is our reward to be able to contribute toward their success. May all students remember the importance of an education. It is the one thing that can never be taken away from them. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, for your years of service. The Foundation believes that the Longview Independent School District delivers excellence to its students, and excellence is achieved because of the dedicated, nurturing people who touch the lives of students every day. To honor the profession, the Longview ISD Foundation sponsors the annual Lamplighter Awards. This year, the Foundation provided students with a list of traits former Lamplighter Award students said educators must possess to be truly great. This list included traits such as possessing kindness and compassion, believing in their students and wanting them to succeed, inspiring students by making learning interesting and fun, being patient, having high expectations for students, and creating a sense of family in the classroom. Students were welcome to write other traits they thought were important also. Tonight, you will hear about LISD educators who exemplify the traits students think are important. With the Lamplighter Awards, the Longview ISD Foundation pays tribute to students and those who are special to them in their school lives and invites the community to celebrate Longview ISD and the people who make it a success. During dinner, you saw pictures of these students and their special educators, and now it is our pleasure to present them to you. In their essays, tonight's student honorees have truly shown how they will carry their special educators in their hearts for a lifetime. As we begin, I'd like each student and their special educator to come to the stage as soon as their names are called. Please come onto the stage and enter to your right and remain there while you are presented with your award. Please stay on the stage while your essay is read aloud. Afterwards, you will exit the stage and have your photo taken by Jocelyn Fadajudemy of East Texas Review and Liz Ross with LISD Communications. Based on your comfort level, you may remove your mask if you'd like while we read your essay and while you have your picture taken. First, from Bramlett STEAM Academy, Yolanda Juarez, third grade teacher, is being honored by Allison Nino, fifth grader. If y'all will come forward. Allison writes, I want to tell everyone about Mrs. Juarez, my favorite teacher whom I had in third grade. Mrs. Juarez always made learning fun. When we learned something new, she would always make it look easy by teaching us a song or making a learning into a game. She also gave us free time to work on something we were interested in when we did something good. I liked when we had free time because it showed that Mrs. Juarez was genuinely happy when we earned good grades and had behaved well. Mrs. Juarez was not like a normal teacher who just wanted you to get good grades. She wanted us to really learn. She never had a problem when someone did not understand and needed help. She was always happy to help and encourage us to ask questions. She never made us feel ashamed or embarrassed if we did not understand something. Best of all, Mrs. Juarez always forgave us if we got in trouble. One day, the entire class was loud and did not want to listen. Mrs. Juarez was really mad, but she forgave us, but she wanted us to learn a lesson about good and bad behavior. She always made sure we learned from our mistakes. Now everyone knows why Mrs. Juarez is my favorite teacher.
Our next award is East Texas Montessori Prep Academy. Teacher Angela Vogue, she teaches kindergarten, and she is being honored by Emma Pena. Emma writes, Mrs. Vogue has taught me to be a responsible and well-rounded person. She has helped me learn and follow through with my lessons.
Next, from Johnson McQueen Elementary School, Paul McMillan, STEM and robotics teacher, is being honored by Eliana Johnson, 5th grader. Mr. McMillan is the teacher who has helped me the most. He has shown many of the characteristics that a great teacher possesses, but 3 really stand out. Mr. McMillan is a good listener, he is accepting of others, and he makes learning fun. He has made such a difference in my life because he listens to me. If I have had a bad day or if I am sad, I can go to him and talk to him, and I know he will listen to me and help me feel better. His willingness to listen is something that will continue to have an impact on my life because he taught me to be a good listener. Mr. McMillan should definitely be awarded the Lamplighter Award this year by the Longview ISD Foundation because he has not only made a big impact on my life, but he has also made an impact on other students who talk about how much they like him. Other students have told me that he has helped them with school and has listened to them and helped them through a bad day. He should be honored with the Lamplighter Award.
South Ward Elementary School, Treva Patterson, formerly 1st grade teacher, now 3rd grade teacher, is being honored by Shania Sudbury, 5th grade. Ms. Patterson is the best. Ms. Patterson is the best to me because she always had faith in me. On the first day of school, I was scared. I wanted to go home, but Ms. Patterson said that I would have fun in 1st grade. I sat down at my desk, but my face was as red as a tomato because I felt sick. Then Ms. Patterson said, "Don't be afraid." Suddenly I felt good inside. The butterflies in my stomach flew away. The next day I walked in and sat down at my desk. Then she called my name. I jumped up like a kangaroo in the desert. She handed me a book to read the class. I became nervous with chills like it was super cold outside. But gently, Mrs. Patterson guided me through the book. That day, I felt like she changed school for the better for me. I still remember everything she said. I will never forget the time she pushed me academically because she knew I could do better. Ms. Patterson truly is the one teacher I honor and will never forget because she changed my life and taught me to be a better student and a better person.
Christina Morris, 4th grade teacher from Ware, East Texas Montessori Academy, is being honored by Levi Servin, 5th grader. Mrs. Morris was a great teacher who showed me how to respect others in order to earn respect. She taught me how to smile through tough times. Mrs. Morris also taught me to follow my dreams as well as to be the real person I am inside. Mrs. Morris taught all her students to be respectful to adults and to other students. She even said that if people treat us wrong, we still need to treat them with respect. Mrs. Morris also said that if we expect to receive respect, then we must be respectful. I learned that if I do not respect others, they will not respect me. Every morning, Mrs. Morris entered the classroom with a smile, even if it was a bad day. She taught me how to smile during tough times. When we take a hard test, she smiles, and her smiles help us through it. Mrs. Morris also told us to follow our dreams and to be ourselves so we can reach our goals. She also taught us to be ourselves and not want to be like other people. She has taught me that I just need to be me.
Nettie Williams STEAM Academy, Stephanie Long, 3rd grade teacher, being honored by Miguel Zuniga, 5th grade. If I came up to you and asked what teacher inspired you the most, what would you say? If I were in your position, I would say that a teacher named Miss Long inspired me the most because of her kindness and compassion. I remember in 3rd grade, I accidentally hit somebody with my pencil. When I told Miss Long what happened, she was not angry. Instead, she had a smile on her face and said, "Everyone makes mistakes." Another time, a girl and I were racing to see who could get the last chair in the room when the girl fell. Miss Long scolded me, saying that I should have been a gentleman and given the girl the chair. After about 20 minutes, Miss Long came to me and reminded me to never act like that again. I knew she forgave me, though. She made my heart feel warm, and I learned my lesson about being a gentleman. Miss Long is really good at helping students when they do not understand what we are learning. When I was having trouble understanding how to read in English, she helped me by explaining what the words meant. I believe I am a strong reader today because of her efforts. In my opinion, Miss Long should win an award for Best Teacher in the world.
From Forest Park Middle School, Denisha Terrell Ramsire, 8th grade science teacher, is being honored by Addison Gray, 8th grader. Being new to Longview ISD and attending remotely, I have not been able to have face-to-face encounters with any of the educators or staff members at Forest Park. Upon reading this assignment, I almost got a bit discouraged, but then I realized that I have had a special experience with a specific teacher at Forest Park Middle School. My school year began at the beginning of my 8th grade year, moving from Ohio, not really knowing anything about the school at all. With that being said, my decision about whom I would choose to represent all of the amazing qualities of an instructor, based on my minimal experience at Forest Park, would be my science teacher, Mrs. Terrell Ramsire. This school year, in part of last, has definitely been a struggle for me, as I started at a different school where I knew no students or teachers whom I could reach out to on a personal level for assistance. Mrs. Terrell Ramsire would be that person for me. Mrs. Terrell Ramsire makes learning science fun and interesting. In previous years, science was my least favorite subject. I found it boring. This year, however, I have really enjoyed learning about our solar system and lunar moon phases, and Mrs. Terrell Ramsire has inspired me to learn. She does not overload us with work, but at the same time, she challenges us. She finds ways to make each assignment more enjoyable. For that, I am very grateful. Mrs. Terrell Ramsire also possesses compassion and kindness. I actually began this year at Forest Park in another science class. I was confused and having trouble logging in and was very worried about my grades. I reached out to Mrs. Terrell Ramsire knowing that I was not in her class, but she did not care. She helped me anyway. Anytime I have had a question and reached out to her, she has always been quick to answer. Educators this year have had their hands full, doing both in-school and virtual learning. But she has handled her teaching duties amazingly. I really appreciate her effort. As a matter of fact, she even emailed me personally on my birthday to wish me a happy birthday. She really made my day. Most importantly, Mrs. Terrell Ramsire is knowledgeable about science. I can tell she is very passionate about her job and enjoys teaching. If the world had more teachers like her in it, more students would enjoy attending school every day. I know Mrs. Terrell Ramsire has changed the way I view school. I have enjoyed learning about science in her class this year and feel blessed that I reached out to her at the beginning of school. If I had not, my science experience would not have been as successful.
Judson STEAM Academy, Laura Johnston, 8th grade English Language Arts teacher, being honored by Kamiko Neely, 8th grade. Great educators have many traits that allow them to be as great as they are. Some teachers shine brighter than others because they have certain traits. The teacher I will always carry in my heart and mind because she has certain qualities is Mrs. Johnston, my English teacher. Mrs. Johnston is one of the best things in my school life this year because she has the abilities no one else possesses. Most teachers do not notice the students who always do what they're supposed to do, but Ms. Johnston does. She always encourages me and listens to my thoughts when I feel like I'm an overflowing fountain. No matter how busy she is, she always understands what I'm going through and helps me to make the best of it. I feel more comfortable in Ms. Johnson's class than in any other class I have. Mrs. Johnson encourages me to pursue writing. She tells me that putting my thoughts on paper can do wonders for people willing to read my writing. She always talks about how I should make a blog and share the things I enjoy with others. Sometimes her comments embarrass me when she praises my work. Not only does she encourage me, but she also does her best to help everyone and explain the material we are learning. No matter what the learning is, she can explain it in the best way, making her a great educator.
From Longview Early Graduation High School, Christy Means, principal, is being honored by Denorius Monroe, Jr. I would like for Mrs. Means to win this year's Lamplighter Award for the LISD Foundation. She is so sweet and kind, and she really cares about all her students at Longview Early Graduation High School. There is nothing she would not do for us to help and encourage us to succeed in life. Mrs. Means wants the best for each of us. When I first came to Longview Early Graduation High School from another district, I did not know anyone. I was very shy, but Mrs. Means made me feel welcome and made sure that I was doing everything I was supposed to do. She helped keep me on track with my schoolwork. If she knew that I was behind in a class, she would come to me and talk to me about it. At my old school, the teachers did not care about me the way that Miss Means does. I was failing all of my classes there, but now I am making A's and B's at Legs. I was held back in the 7th grade, so when I arrived at Legs, I was in the 9th grade but had no credits. Immediately, Mrs. Means pushed me to stay focused on my schoolwork and do the work I needed to do to earn the credits. By the end of the year, I had earned 13 credits. With her encouragement, I am now a junior and in the right grade. Mrs. Means and I have formed a strong bond over the years, and I can tell her anything or ask her for help for anything. I know she will be honest with me and tell me what is best for me. If it were not for Mrs. Means, I probably would not be where I am today. Each of these students has described the special qualities they believe a good educator needs to possess. Tonight's students have honored teachers all of whom have touched their lives in different ways. The students' essays have shown that educators contribute every day in many ways to the success of their students. Every educator has the power to touch a student's life, and we have learned that students are watching, listening, and learning valuable lessons from them that they will carry with them long after they leave school. Tonight's foundation has chosen 5 students, 2 5th graders, 1 8th grader, and 2 Longview High School seniors to read their essays, because although these students do not know each other, the educators they honor truly embody the traits of a great educator. As you listen to their tributes, I invite you to think of an educator whom you carry in your heart and mind, and the difference that educator made in your life. First, Christopher Gonzalez, 5th grader, honors Bethia Saravia, 5th grade teacher from J.L. Everhart Elementary School.
Do you know anyone who is willing to watch a movie about something she is totally afraid of just because someone suggested it? I have a teacher, Mrs. Arabia, who did just that. I love a show called Stranger Things, and I told Miss Arabia about it. That she then binge watched it one weekend. Even though she hates scary shows, she watched it. She also created a Stranger Things escape room for our class, so we could reveal decimal operations. I told her, this is the most have I've ever had. I have known Miss Arabia for many years. In fact, she taught me math one summer when I was just 5 years old. Back then, she told me how to add and subtract. Now that I'm in 5th grade, she taught me so much more than just addition and subtraction. Mrs. Arabia is so nice. I knew I wanted to be in her class when I got to 5th grade. I asked my mom to make sure I was in her class. Miss Arabia is so nice. When I finish my work, she gives me activities that are fun but help me learn more skills. I like being challenged with work that makes me increase my fluency and knowledge in math. Mrs. Arabia is also really helpful. She taught me to look up skills on Education Galaxy so that I can practice even more and master them. I was not happy with the grade I earned on numerical patterns, but she helped me find the tools I needed to help me understand. If I ever make a mistake, she helps me reflect on why I got the problem wrong and gives me strategies to solve the problem. She does not just help me, she also helps other students who need help in math. I appreciate Mrs. Arabia. I think she is the best teacher.
Excellent, Christopher.
Next, we have Marley Camp, 5th grader, honoring Rebecca Swanner, dyslexia teacher and former 1st grade teacher at Hudson Peck.
You got Mrs. Swanner. Who is Mrs. Swanner? She could be a witch with green warty fingers, or a vampire with pearl-like veins ready to suck my blood. Whatever I discovered after being in her class, however, was a teacher I would never forget. My caring, humorous, grandmotherly made a significant impact on my life, and I would not be the person I am today without her. Changing schools is tough, especially going into first grade at a school that has first through fifth grade all on the same campus. Maybe it's just me, but on my first time walking into Hudson Pep, in my mind I was thinking, the fifth graders are like giants and I'm a teeny tiny little ant who could be stepped on at any moment. When I walked into the classroom, Mrs. Swanner came right over to me, asked me my name, and showed me to my seat. She asked if I knew anyone, and I quietly shook my head no. She led me over to a shy, quiet, nervous, kind-looking girl and introduced us to each other. We ended up sitting next to each other at lunch, we played with each other at recess, and we read with each other in the reading corner. Now here we are, almost 5 years later, and we are still BFFs. It's all because of Mrs. Swanner. One of my favorite memories of being in her class was the birthday spanking paddle. That's another way that she left a mark on me. The words still ring in my ear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 to grow on. I remember it as if it was yesterday. She called me to the front of the room, bent me over, and began. The class roared with laughter every time she did one spanking. The funny thing was that she only acted like she was going to spank students hard. She reeled the paddle back, but just tapped lightly. But the first person to get a birthday spanking didn't exactly know that. That person was terrified and shook with fear as they walked to the front of the room. At first, the shocked class waited quietly for the spanking to be over. However, as the year progressed, everybody anxiously counted the days until they got their birthday spanking. I remember in first grade having 2 families, my classroom family and my real family. In most families, people click and play with one another. My classroom family was the same. I will never forget that Mrs. Swanner always said, I'm as old as dirt, y'all, to make the class laugh. It was kind of her inside joke with us. Another good thing that families do is support one another. Mrs. Swanner made my first grade year the most memorable year yet because how she supported me. One morning, Mrs. Swanner was checking my planner. My mom had written her a little note explaining that I was going to be baptized and asked if she wanted to come. Mrs. Swanner looked up at me with a huge smile and told me she would love to attend. When I was on the stage about to be baptized with the spotlight on my face, I looked out across the auditorium for her, not my family or anyone else, her. When I saw her, I felt more confident and ready to be baptized. Her presence made that day so much more memorable and special to me. Aristotle once said, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. This quote reminds me so much of Miss Swanner because she lived this quote. She didn't just teach us because it was her job. She teaches because she loves us and wanted us to be successful.
Carolyn Purdum is now going to read as she honors Joseph Ford, Foster Middle School 8th grade English and Language Arts teacher.
A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. This quote explains the endless sacrifices that a great teacher makes for the lives of their students, the countless hours that a teacher spends awake at night thinking of their students, and how they might unlock their potential, like a chest of opportunity buried deep inside them. A great teacher hopes that their students absorb the world of knowledge that dwells inside their ever-expanding minds. Great teachers possess these qualities, but few are willing to give themselves up for their students again and again in order to pass on the skills their students need to be successful in life. Among those great teachers, one teacher who never gives up or backs down from the challenge that overshadows him every day is Mr. Ford. Many teachers confine their teaching to only the classroom, and students have a limited amount of time to ask questions about an assignment or materials. This makes it very different for students to have any communication with their teachers whatsoever. Not so with Mr. Ford. I can contact him at any time, and when I have questions, it seems as if he devotes his entire existence to helping me find the answers. Like a book just waiting to be opened, Mr. Ford is always ready to share his knowledge with his students. Mr. Ford tirelessly intertwines his own life with students outside of his classroom through UIL events and practices and other extracurricular activities. Mr. Ford has never ceased to amaze me through his acts of compassion and devotion to his students, inside and outside of the classroom. It is as if he wants to share the very moon and stars with us. Robert Heinlein once said, when one teaches to learn. I believe the mark of a true teacher is one who is able to become a childlike student himself and learn from his students. When teachers fail to do this, they often assign unnecessary work and are too hard on their students, expecting them to have no imperfections. These students do not remember that students are people too, or these teachers do not remember that students are people too, just like they are. Mr. Ford, however, has never failed to realize that students are people too. He challenges us, but only to the extent that he thinks we are capable of achieving, never beyond. And he understands that my peers and I have a life outside of school. When I share a fact that he does not know, like a little child, he humbles himself and accepts it with an open mind and does not dismiss it as unimportant. He broadens his own horizons as he broadens mine. Mr. Ford is not just a teacher, he is a father treating us like his own children. He always makes the classroom feel like a family. He does not distance himself from his students, making us strangers. Instead, he connects us on a personal level, with a smile of acceptance and affection written on his heart. He asks me how my weekend was and how my family is, making sure that I feel accepted and loved. Mr. Ford brings us together in an environment where anything is possible and where we are free to share our gifts and opinions without being afraid. The classroom is a family, and Mr. Ford is the father who guides us. He shines light into a world of wonder, illuminating hidden and astounding knowledge that helps me see the world not as it is, but how it could be. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world." Like a true warrior, Mr. Ford uses every weapon he has to change the world one child at a time. I know that what Mr. Ford has taught me throughout my life will stay with me as I grow older, and I hope I will be able to show as much compassion and devotion as he does toward the people around me. Through sacrifice, humility, and fatherly care, Mr. Ford has proven to be my lamplighter. Thank you, Mr. Ford, for all you do. Thank you for shining a light into my world.
Next, we have Cooper Mays, Longview High School senior and Lobo baseball player, honoring Coach Deron Shepard.
There's always baseball, I remember thinking. I played my first baseball game when I was 5 years old. From that season on, I knew baseball would be my life. My training improved, my teams became more competitive, and my equipment grew more expensive. I traveled from New York to Florida to the Dominican Republic, playing games on the most elite fields. All my experience and training led me to my 9th grade year when varsity baseball would take over and lead me to my dream of playing Division I baseball. The first varsity practice was on a Friday night. While I don't remember the time or date, I remember the specific throw, the sound of my shoulder popping and my injured arm dropping to my side. Varsity baseball was my only plan. but life threw me a curveball. Examining my arm, the doctor said career-ending injury. After countless doctor visits, therapy sessions, and missed practices, skipped seasons, and only a partial recovery, I was not sure I could even compete on the junior varsity team, much less varsity. Coach Duron Shepard moved me down the roster to junior varsity team. Little did I know my life was about to change. Coach Shepard would soon become one of the biggest blessings in my life. As my shoulder rehabbed, Coach Shep was my encourager. He saw the good in me and each player on the team. He was a level head to my hot-head nature. I wanted to play better, not just for myself, but for Coach Shepard. If he were committed to our team, then I wanted to be too. I felt like I could tell Coach Shep anything. He did not just listen, he responded. He did not just value me, instead he valued each player on the team. He made me feel not only like an important player, but also an important part of God's plan. Coach Shepard was fair in the game of life. I know that may sound silly, but in a sport like baseball, it is easy to lose sight of the big picture. Coach Shepard was always one step ahead of us. His baseball IQ was impressive, and his love for the game was unmatched. Curveballs happen in life, and I was pitched another one during my sophomore year. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 head and neck cancer. We were not sure if he would survive or not. I considered quitting the Lobo team. Baseball seemed such a trivial worry in the midst of my family's new normal. I was not sure I would be able to commit to my team with my dad's cancer being our family's biggest concern. I went home every night and told my dad about the practice or game while he lay with his eyes closed, slightly smiling. My baseball was his medicine. I'm not sure when it happened or if I even noticed it, but Coach Shepard quickly became more than my coach. After Coach Shep learned the news about my dad, he prayed with me. He is a man of God, and I admire his personal walk with Christ more than he will ever know. Each day, each practice, he was my constant. A practice did not go by when he did not reach out to me and ask me about everything other than baseball. It is hard to find a man who cares so deeply about his players. Through baseball, I have seen umpires make many game-altering calls. I have especially seen many while playing at the junior varsity level with Coach Shepard. Such calls can test a man and his ability to stay calm in situations. I have noticed many times when Coach Shepard could have thrown a fit over these calls. Instead, he acted like a mature, level-headed adult. He served as a role model for the entire team, showing his players how mature men should act. We have shared many experiences with each other, and through these experiences, I have learned what a good man looks like. Coach Shepard is an example to each of us, showing us how to live, old and young alike. Whether I'm sitting at my dad's bedside wiping his forehead or making a tag at second base, I know how to be a man because of Coach Shepard. A coach's worth is not found in his win or loss record or on his resume, but in the impact he makes on his players' lives. There are hundreds of quotes about baseball and coaches that I could use to describe Coach Shep. I could fill pages singing his praises and giving example of his innate goodness. However, when it comes to the truth, he is a life changer. I know he changed mine, and for that I will be forever grateful. There is always baseball. There is always Coach Shepard. He is the best curveball I have ever been pitched.
Lizbeth Martinez, Longview High School senior, is honoring retired kindergarten teacher Lainey Scarborough from Bramlett Elementary School.
Devashis Murda, an American author, proclaims, "A great teacher plants the seeds of greatness in the minds of future generations." Murda's insistence on greatness reflects the great implication of how teachers and mentors generously share their little time and passion to teach a bright future. Any bright future can involve not only students whom the teacher and mentors educate, but it also can involve their children, family, friends, and their extended network as well. A life-changing teacher, Ms. Scarborough, planted seeds of greatness from the start of my kindergarten year, and those seeds of greatness had followed me to my senior year in high school. As a shy, timid child, I found it challenging to really settle in any environment, especially in school. I was so afraid of being away from my parents that every time they would drop me off at a daycare with a babysitter, I caused a scene with my loud cries and misbehavior. With Miss Scarborough, my kindergarten teacher, the best teacher ever, I did not cry nor misbehave. Miss Scarborough developed a culture in her classroom of protection and care, whether it was physical, emotional, or intellectual. I recall the feeling of feeling safe every time I was in her classroom. She always cheered me up and encouraged me to be a leader, even if it were just to be the best line leader I could be. The love she had within her for her students is a love I have never seen from any other teacher. Not only was she loving towards me, but she was also loving toward my family, making her a trustworthy person in my family's eyes. Ms. Scarborough's small gestures of kindness impacted the start of my growth as a person, causing me to learn and possess kindness on my own. A great teacher always possesses a contagious passion for education or for being involved with their students. Ms. Scarborough's passion for her teaching was an obsession as she introduced her students to creative activities such as painting and raising butterflies. Ever since kindergarten, I've had a passion to play with watercolors and observe every detail in our natural environment. Although these might seem like simple passions, my interests were well supported throughout my childhood school career, which later in life enabled me to access my full potential. Ms. Scarborough always believed in me as a student and helped me believe in myself. Even when Ms. Scarborough assigned me to be the line leader, I felt incredibly empowered, oftentimes boosting my confidence. This simple experience has inspired me to do better in life and has led me to positive experiences. The greatest teachers share their time and passion with their students. Teachers like Ms. Scarborough plant the seeds of greatness so that their students have a bright future. She planted those seeds for me and for my family, giving them the gift of a loving, phenomenal teacher for their child.
Let's give all these students and their educators a big round of applause. As we close tonight's festivities, the LISD Foundation would like to extend its heartfelt thanks to tonight's sponsors. Without them and their loyal support, the foundation would not be able to provide additional funding to LISD classrooms. Thank you for coming tonight, and we hope you will join us next April for the 22nd Annual Lamplighter Awards. Good night.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Done with that.